Perfect ice cube. It's going to be a cube that's perfectly symmetrical. The edges are going to be super sharp and clean, as are the corners as well. And you'll be able to lift that ice cube up to the light and you'll be able to see all the way through it perfectly. It's like glass.
If I remember correctly, I don't know where along the drawing, but it like just takes the blocks out of the machines and I think puts it on a conveyor belt, and it's just like an automated process, I guess. So he pretty much is trying to make our jobs obsolete. He's like 6 years old.
It's easy to think of what we do as just frozen water, and critics will just be like, why would you pay $1 or more for an ice cube? Comparable to a chef, like every chef that's creating a new dish is looking for the best ingredients that they can possibly get. It's the same with a cocktail. So bartenders these days, especially at a higher level of bartending, and those guys are looking for every ingredient to be the best that it can be. We make thousands and thousands of cubes every single week, and we visually inspect every single cube. And if it doesn't make the cut, then it's binned. There was a period, the latter part of my bartending career, where if you asked me for a mojito after 10 o'clock, you were going to get a glass of hate. But I would never make that drink to any less of a standard that I thought it should be. Like, it was always the best drink that it was going to be. You know, I think that's a very Japanese mentality in terms of striving for perfection and excellence. I'm half Japanese. Japan is a place that the word artisanal really resonates. By that I mean people who work their whole lives in one trade. It's the same thing, like I'd never compromise on the product that I'm making because it has to go out to the customer and for them to like pick it up and be like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, so the pump is constantly circulating the water, and that means that there's no chance for air bubbles to sit or stay. That's basically how we get the clear ice. And it freezes from the bottom up as well, so just one direction.
Basically every city that you go to that has a decent cocktail scene around the world has an ice company that's providing ice to that level of standard and that level of service. At the time, there wasn't really anyone in Vancouver doing that. I knew that it was something that needed to happen for us to raise the standard and raise the bar of the level of cocktails and beverages that we were churning out. That's when I started Kodama. I love being on the saw and just cutting cubes. It's very therapeutic and almost meditational. There's also like a joy in the whole craftsmanship of doing it. We have to be very quick about what we're doing. We have to be very careful that we don't lose ice because of the temperature variance. We've had blocks that we pulled out and they've just shattered. Bartenders really have to think about when they're creating a cocktail, the most important thing is balance. And by having a stable ice cube that goes in there, you'll be able to keep that balance in your cocktail for longer. Whereas if you have something that's going to melt very, very quickly, at the end of the drink, it's going to be watery and diluted and out of balance. You'll just see the corners and the edges of the ice cube just disappear. And so the perfect ice cube inside your glass, you won't actually be able to see it. I think trying to reach perfection is something that people with a passion always strive for. The Japanese are aware that perfection is not always attainable. Because it's not always attainable and you're trying to reach it, it means that you always keep trying to get better and better.